major inconvenience for students?
Okay, that's a good question. It's a very specific question, specific to the majors and the types of classes that you're in. So it's really mostly more for the humanities classes that take place in the building, as well as many of the students in the cartoon department, as well as the animation department on the 5th floor of that building, I believe. Really, I think there are 2 entrances to the 380 building. And sometimes, you know, if you go around 10 o'clock at night, those doors are locked. But usually there's one door there that's usually, sometimes it's locked, or sometimes there's usually like a guard there, like either like a security guard, either from SBA or from the building itself. And it really shouldn't be too much of a problem, but I guess I can see how certain floors would be closed. I know the library on the 2nd floor definitely closes at its normal time, but I think that's pretty standard. I think also, you know, if you want more hours to put into your classrooms, also means more security, more staff, students to be there. So hopefully it's not as specific as that one person. Hopefully this is more of a multi-person issue. Thank you.
Is the person who asked that question still here? What doors are you talking about?
I apologize for being specific. Usually our only option to get to class every day is to take the elevators, and a lot of times...
Oh, you mean the stairwell?
The stairwells, yeah.
Okay. See, the reason that you're actually not able to do that is because we don't own the building, and so all of the floors are not SBA, so in order, they don't want you like going into the back of the diagnostics lab, you know, to get out of the SBA building. But
that was my question.
I mean, in the future, if you do have a question like that, that's exactly what VASA is here for. You know, if you have a question like that, you can email us, Twitter, Facebook, anything. We would be able to contact you immediately and yet let you know our thoughts on that. And if it were the type of situation where, let's say it was in the main building that you had a concern like that, we would be able to contact the appropriate people and ask them why they're doing it, if they could fix it, something like that. So.
Okay.
Okay. Jake, who's a film major from Los Angeles, asks, what are we doing wrong and what can we do better? That's pretty vague, but we'll open it up for interpretation from both of you. I'm going to pass this one on to Stephen and Marcella. Marcella, if you'd like to take it first.
Could you repeat the question, please?
The question is, what are we doing wrong and what can we do better?
Well, from what I understand from that question, if he means like academically, perhaps like we were just discussing like a few days ago, like increasing like services in the writing resource center, like doubling the tutors every day, in the morning and in the afternoon. That way, more students will have more access to any possible assistance.
There's a lot, there's always room for improvement. That's basically what it comes down to, right? There's always ways that things can be changed for the better, and that's kind of why we elect a student government, and that's why we're running. I think it's a pretty vague question. I think a large reason for things that we see as wrong actually go back to the students themselves, myself included. As our students, we tend to be pretty critical of things. We're skeptics. It's why we're good at what we do. But because of that, we tend to second guess every decision that's made. And so, a better, ways of fixing that are by going to, the officers, whether it be, ourselves or whoever wins, and approaching them and saying, I've got an issue with this. How can this be fixed? And moving forward from there.
Fiji, who's a senior in graphic design, asks, from Elmont, Long Island, by that, asks, bring to SVA that hasn't been done before? What precedents do you intend to set for future offices? I'm going to forward this to Alyssa and Michael, and I'm going to have Alyssa go first this time.
Well, I actually think that that's a really important question for our team, because we don't want people to think that because two of us have already been in the office that we're just going to sort of stick to what we've already been doing and not try anything different. We've already gotten started with the SVA newspaper, and that's something that's really important to us because we want the students to be able to voice opinions for the other students. So we want to expand and keep going with the publication of that, and hopefully get more students involved and make it a more regular SVA thing that people just expect to see out. And we also want to try and get more students involved. Like we've been saying all along, that's just the most important thing, that we just need to get students interested, because it's very hard not being on a college campus per se, that we're all over the city, and that, you know, we don't have a dining hall and things like that where we can, you know, congregate, and so we sort of need to just make something so that the students can just communicate with each other and be in a place, and the Monkey Bar is that place right now, but I think that it's mainly just for commuter students. So essentially, I think we just need to get people more involved.
I don't know, I think the statistic is 60% commuter students, 40% people who actually dorm on campus. But I think to actually get students more involved, I mean, it's really no easy task. But I think one thing that we would do if elected is really help get student work out there. I mean, there's a lot of space in the school. I mean, just the walls of the Monkey Bar Lounge, you could have, you know, an exhibition that'll last a week. I think one thing that we would do, that hopefully future parties who run for VASA will do, is keep the doors open at all times. I mean, not necessarily physically, but always be open to students' questions, concerns, ideas, and try your best to execute them. You know, it's not easy trying to get everything perfect. But I think the thing we need to do is really kind of prioritize of what's important and what the students want specifically, and see how much you can get it done. That's it.
Thank you very much. David, who's a freshman and an animation major from Allendale, New Jersey, asks, what would you strengthen or improve if elected? Or improve, I think that's supposed to say. What would you strengthen or improve if elected? And I'm going to put this towards Phil and Lori, and let Lori go first this time.
For one thing, I think SVA is already pretty great. If it wasn't, I wouldn't even be bothering with this. I'd just be like, the school is a mess, who cares? I would strengthen the variety of trips, and I feel like there should be more things that are relevant to a large majority, and not to things that are just relevant to maybe an artsy group, or maybe to one where we can all enjoy. Like, for one thing, I had an idea that I think everyone has really enjoyed so far is a giant water bike, and you could just bring all the majors, and you could just make bags of water balloons and all that, just be really childish. I haven't felt like there's a childish sort of college life to SVA. It's almost too serious. So I'd like to strengthen the social life in SVA to the extent where it can feel like a college, like a stereotypical college. Thank you.
One of the ideas that we've kind of been toying with would be to add the possibility of more off-campus events. That could include trips. That could include, you know, going to the Bronx Zoo or something. Those kind of things could be run by VASA and could easily bring together people from different majors, and would help students who aren't from New York see more parts of New York and you know, meet people from other majors. We've also thought about doing we're thinking about doing a VASA website if we're elected again, and having all that information online. Also, we could have a post letting students be able to voice ideas for what they would like to see added as events or that kind of stuff in the school. So.
Very good. The next question is from Brett Braff. She's a photo major from Jersey, Babe, apparently. Have you ever been orientation leaders or involved in student activities before now? If not, why? Okay, I'm going to open this one up for Stephen and Marcelo, and I'll have Stephen go first.
I personally have not. My two running mates have, obviously. I just transferred in this fall, so I have not yet had the opportunity to be an orientation leader or be involved in student activities. Obviously, I'm getting my start and look forward to getting more involved, but for the time being, no, I don't. My running mates have been both orientation leaders and obviously on student government. So.
I've never been an orientation leader, but I've developed some great leadership skills during my volunteer time in New Jersey when I was a CIT counselor, helping kids with autism and PDD, basic developmental disorder. I even took some martial arts classes, which gave me extreme discipline and ambition to be a leader one day, to make some changes.
This question is specifically for the Transistors, and it's from Brittany, who's a photo major from Los Angeles. And suspiciously similar to the last question. Okay, since you are trying to run again, what can you change to make things better / different from last year? Why don't you put that towards Alyssa? Why not? Yeah.
Okay, so like Phil briefly mentioned, we actually want to start a VASA website, from the MySVA or the SVA.edu, VASA.SVA.edu or something like that, where people can just get all of the information that they need, because we all log into the MySVA, and it's very, very confusing. I find the interface very hard to use. The information is pretty much not to be found, to be honest with you. I mean, it's very hard to use. And I think if we have something for the students, by the students, because we know what we need to see, then we can have, a tab for events, we can have somebody do a blog post, we can have things going on in the city that our students might be interested in, we can have, Tina's events, the Broadway plays, the list of things. You can even sign up for tickets online, possibly. If you want to do a club, you can do it on the website, and we're also going to link that with the newspaper. So rather than having to go and read the entire newspaper, you can say, oh, I just want to read the Broadway play reviews, or just the artist interviews, or things like that. So it will really be catered to what people are interested in, and they can find it easily and effectively.
Thank you very much. Very good answers. Okay, next question. It's from Clayton de Zachariah, who's a fourth year. His major is 11. How do you plan on expanding the SVA student meal plan? Why don't we direct that again towards Michael and Alyssa? And we'll let Michael go first this time.
One of the things that I asked one student, what does he want better at SVA?